caring step-parents out there that embrace these children and enrich their lives in ways that you just cannot imagine. But the rate of abuse among step-parents is higher than among biological parents. And sadly, that abuse can lead to a tragic and heart-wrenching ending. Take a look.
A twisted case of family betrayal and murder.
Gowker confessed to the brutal beating death of his own stepson, Trace Wicker. In May 2011, students found the 14-year-old's body behind Liberty High School.
Family members are shedding new light on the murder of a 9-year-old girl in Long Beach.
9-year-old Xiomara Gonzalez Fernandez was murdered in this church parking lot, allegedly at the hands of her stepfather.
Not so fast, stepmommy. You say the little girl dies of a seizure? Our investigation reveals blunt force trauma to the baby's head. Trauma so severe, her head leaves an imprint in the living room carpet. Yeah, I'm on to you, Mommy.
Now, horrific stories like these are my first guest Brenda's worst nightmare. Why? Because she claims that her husband, Drew, is such an abusive stepfather that even their cable guy, who just stopped by for a service call, reported him to CPS.
I don't care if you're filming this crap or not, I'm not going to put up with this. You're starting to me off because you're not listening and back talking.
My husband is an abusive stepfather. He is verbally, mentally, and physically abusive toward my son.
Brenda is crazy for saying that I'm abusive. I try to keep Austin in line.
You're going to go out there and rake up the backyard. And if you don't, I'm going to get a paddle and I'm going to beat your ass.
Austin deserves to get punished because he's lazy.
Austin is bipolar and he has ADHD.
Shut your mouth over there. Nobody wants to hear your smart mouth.
Austin is a bad seed.
Drew has slapped Austin upside his head. He threw him up against the wall and he choked him.
You're going to start yelling at me? How about if I come in there and spank you? I'm not going to tolerate your mouth.
Austin told me that he was going to be big enough and bad enough to beat me up. I told him I'll take his ass outside, we can go in the backyard and we can fight.
Little boy, you gotta grow up and learn.
Don't talk to me like that.
What are you gonna do about it, huh? You're gonna sit there and yell at me like a fool?
Austin is not too young for me to beat his ass.
Stop being a disrespectful little brat. Keep it up and I'm gonna smack the out of you.
Drew has called Austin many names. Little idiot.
Little and a jerk. He thrives on getting me frustrated.
I'm at the end of the rope with the way he treats my kids.
I wish that we could fix Austin's brain to where we would get rid of the problems and my life would be a whole lot better.
I'm the king of this house. That's the way it goes.
Well, if that wasn't bad enough, Brenda says Drew has called her intellectually disabled daughter retarded and stupid. Now, Drew says he's just trying to get her ready for the real world.
My daughter Destiny was diagnosed with mild to moderate mental retardation. Drew's been verbally, mentally, physically abusive to Destiny.
What are you so happy for? What do you mean you don't know?
Drew expects Destiny to be like a normal kid.
Destiny's more intelligent than she plays off to be. She acts like she's the victim.
What is your deal? For being a weirdo?
Destiny couldn't spell the word yet, and Drew told her, what, are you stupid?
Destiny will keep asking me, how are you, Dad? I will tell Destiny, that's enough. You've asked me that 10 times already, Destiny. It gets annoying. I tell her she needs to get off her butt and go do her chores, quit being lazy.
One day, she walked by the coffee table, and there was Drew's cup. She knocked it over, and he slapped her, and it was loud and hard. It's heartbreaking that she has to go through that.
Okay, you're concerned.
Yes.
What is your concern?
Well, my main concern is that my kids be treated with dignity and respect as people, and that things don't get out of hand and get worse.
And how long have you two been together?
9 years.
9 years.
We've been married for 8.
So this has been going on for a long time?
It's since my son's been older. Getting older and getting into his teenage years, he's getting a lot more mouthier, and my husband doesn't tolerate it at all.
And what do you think about all of this?
I think that if he decided to listen and quit back talking and being disrespectful, there wouldn't be any problems.
So this is his fault because he doesn't listen, he doesn't do what you tell him to do.
I think a lot of it has to do with him, and some of it might have to do with myself, but mainly it's his attitude not wanting to listen. He does not like to listen at all when it comes to me telling him what to do.
And how about your stepdaughter? What is it about her that frustrates you? What does she need to do to fix this problem? Because you're saying if they'd just do the right thing, there wouldn't be any problem, right?
She's not the problem. Okay, let's understand that right now. She is not a problem.
Well, let's understand this right now. Why do you yell at her?
Because she knows better and does things that she's not supposed to, and does things over and over, or asks you something over and over, and you can tell her that you've already asked me that, and it just kind of gets annoying, and she knows. She plays like she's the...
But how many times have you been told she does have short-term memory loss, and she needs that repetitive direction over and over? Okay,
Yes.
she needs that.
I understand that, and I understand what disability she has.
But you still do the same things over and over.
It's kind of frustrating with one and the other. It's mainly the other, which would be Austin. He's the most frustrating one out of all of it.
And how do you deal with that?
I try to deal with it as best as I can until he likes to sit there and pick at me and pushes the buttons to where it annoys me, and he thinks it's funny.
Yeah. Well, that's where he and I separate then, because I don't think it's funny at all.
I don't either, sir.
Well, I think you do. I mean, I watched the tape. What was the first statement you said on tape? I don't give a damn if you are taping this. Let me tell you something. And then you go on to aggressively berate and demean this child. What's your theory? What's the outcome you're looking for when you do that?
My theory is if he would have said, for instance, I'm tired, can I do the raking of the yard later? That might have been just fine. He straight out told me no, that he wasn't going to do it and that he's not going to listen to me.
And you said that he is, quote, he's just a bad seed. What does that mean? He's just a bad seed.
He's got a impulse problem with his brain. His brain completely does not know when to shut off the adrenaline. He gets adrenaline rushes. So he turns into a hyperactive, Incredible Hulk in less than 3 seconds.
So it's involuntary.
It's not actually his fault that it happens, but it does happen quite often.
Well, then if it's not his fault and you understand that, why do you yell and berate him?
Actually, that's a good question to answer, and it's a hard one.
Well, here's what you said. You said, I'm trying to turn him into a man.
I'm trying to set him straight for life forward.
Have you called him names?
Yes, I have.
Little jerk, bitch, little bastard, little idiot, and stupid. Okay. I apologize, ladies, for the language, but I want you to understand what we're dealing with here. You have called him all of those things, said all of those things to him, have you not?
Sometime in life, yes, I have.
Sometime in life.
Am I proud of it? No, I'm not.
Do you threaten him?
Define threatening him.
Okay, I will. Quote, you better shut the up or I'll knock your teeth out. Get the out of my face. Don't care if you're leave. This isn't your house anyway. I'm just going to punch a hole in your chest.
You have said that before many times.
Saying one thing and doing another is totally, completely different.
I didn't ask you if you did it. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm just asking you if you said it. I'm just trying to get it all on the table here so I know what I'm dealing with.
You're dealing with a kid that likes to push everybody's button to the max.
Okay, well,
and thinks it's funny.
First answer my question. You do say that to him.
I have said it to him before.
More than once?
It's possible.
Oh,
yes, he
come
has
on.
more than once.
You know, man up and own it. Hell, if you're going to do it, don't come out here and start waffling around. You either do it or you don't.
I have more than once. Man up, I'm more than a man than just as anybody else is.
Really?
Really.
And you think you're going to teach him to be a man by doing what you're doing? You want him to grow up and be a man like you?
No, I'm trying to show him the straight way and not get into trouble. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But you can't do that whenever you cuss at him and to call him names and make him have low self-esteem.
When he's not throwing a fit and he's acting normal and listening and behaving, he's the greatest kid in the world to be around and love him to death and step in front of a truck so he wouldn't get hurt. But when it comes to his mouth and his attitude, it really is stinking.
Did you say, if he wants to fight, I'm ready? He's not too young for me to beat his ass. He will not disrespect me. I will not bow down to him.
When a 14-year-old stands up to you and gets in your face like a man and says that he can whoop you, what do you expect a person to do?
I'm so glad you asked. Do you know how it sounds that you're physically hitting an intellectually disabled girl?
I think I'm about done with this show.
Have you threatened his bio father?
Have I threatened him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he threatened me first.
Have you said to him, go tell your dad I'll whoop his ass?
I sure have. And on that point there, to answer another part of that question, I have asked his biological father for help over the telephone to help me get this child to listen.
Well, so this is your strategy to get him to listen, to learn to be a man. Did you make a paddle?
I made 2 of them.
And you wrote red ass on it?
His mother did that.
Did you hit him with it?
I spanked him on his butt.
In fact, you told us, quote, I haven't used it in 6 months because he throws a fit like a little baby.
He does throw a fit like a little baby.
Did you grab him and throw him up against the wall in front of a family counselor?
In front of 2 family counselors.
Yes, I have. I grabbed him by his shirt and put him up against the wall and told him to stop acting the way he was.
And he's screaming, you're choking me.
Yes, he was screaming that Drew was choking him, and I was in an area where I couldn't see, and I went over there and I didn't see him choking him. He had a hold of his shirt up against the doors, and the counselor
I did not
had to
choke
tell
the
him
child.
to stop, and I had to tell him to stop.
I did grab him and put him up against the wall.
And what was your theory when you did that? What went through your mind when you did that?
Hopefully, I was trying to put some fear in him to make him calm down.
Well, it didn't.
And that's what all this is. You're trying to get him under control. You're calling him names and yelling at him. You're going to beat his ass. You're throwing him against the wall. How's that working for you?
Calling him names really isn't the greatest thing in the world that I've ever done. Not too proud of it. It's not the greatest thing that you should do to any child. But when you're pushed past your point and you're losing control, you kind of say things that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you need to learn to control your temper in your mouth.
You get really frustrated with your stepdaughter as well.
Sometimes she'll ask the questions over and over, and I'll tell her that's enough. She's asked enough. It's the same thing over and over, and I know that she forgets, but after about 10 to 15 times, you kind of say, okay, you've already asked me that.
Well, but that's not what you say. You say, stop asking me dumb questions. You're lazy. You think she's smarter than she leads people to believe, right?
Oh, she is smarter than she leads people to believe.
She likes playing the victim.
She likes playing like she's helpless.
Have you called her stupid and retarded?
I've called her stupid and retarded a couple of times.
Have you said you're acting retarded? Stop asking so many stupid questions. You can't even spell the word yet. What's wrong with you?
I don't think I've ever said that to her.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Well, she would disagree. Were you there?
It was just the other day. We were in our room and Destiny said, how do you spell yet? And you go, you can't even spell yet? What is wrong with you?
I honestly don't remember that, to be truthful, but if you say so.
It was kind of mean.
You don't like me asking you these questions, do you?
I feel like that I have to be on the defensive side. So you can ask away and I'll answer as best as I can.
How does he treat you?
When we're alone, he generally treats me really good. We have a good relationship, but whenever my son's there, or even my daughter sometimes, We're always fighting. We have to fight. I have to constantly be in between them. I feel like that all the time.
Have you gotten physically aggressive with your daughter?
No.
He has backhanded her in her arm 2 times that I know of, and 1 time was for spilling his drink at my
Is that true or not?
We were at her brother's house, and my daughter wasn't paying attention, and she walked by, and when she doesn't pay attention, she will either trip or knock stuff over, and I smacked her in the arm and told her to pay attention and watch what she's doing.
Is this when she knocked your cup over?
Yeah, it was at somebody else's house.
So when I asked you if you've been physical with her, you said no, that wasn't the truth. You have.
That is considered physical. And yesterday at the hotel.
What happened yesterday at the hotel?
He backhanded her in the arm.
Did it leave a mark? No. Did I really hit her hard? No. What was the reason why I hit her in the arm?
What was your reasoning? Because I don't think that you should have hit her at all.
Do you know how it sounds that you're physically hitting an intellectually disabled girl? How does that sound to you when it hits your ear and you hear somebody else say it?
Apparently that I think I'm about done with this show, because it seems like I'm going to have to defend myself every time that you speak a question to me. I'm not liking the way that this is working out here.
Well, I'm asking you the questions. You said ask me anything you want. I'll answer anything you want.
I just answered you.
No, you didn't.
I don't intentionally hit her on purpose. Okay. And if I think that she deserves to get smacked in the arm for not paying attention or doing something wrong, then that's what I did.
Do you want to know what I think, or do you care?
Well, truthfully, I don't care, but I would like to hear what you got to say.
How do you feel about how Drew treats you?
He's mean to me. I'm doing the dishes, he tells me to hurry up. I was trying to stab them all. Sometimes it takes me a little time to figure out where goes where.
What is the worst thing that Drew has done to you?
Hit me on the arm and it really hurt. I was running right by him and the drink actually spilled by accident. I didn't mean to, and he punched me in the arm. I got sad. I cried myself to sleep.
How do you want things to be different in this family?
I just want Drew to be nice to Austin and have some peace.
Cool. I'm glad she said that.
What part?
All of it.
She's a very sweet kid and wouldn't do anything to hurt anybody, and she doesn't deserve to get hit.
I won't never touch her ground again, because I don't think it's right when she acts or puts me in a position where I should discipline her. She's too old for that, and I love her to death. And I go whatever it takes at school. If I have to pick her up or take her to school, whatever it takes, I do for her. I do for my son too. I do the same thing. I went through a whole year of counseling, coming to my house every week for at least an hour or two every week. I even went to parental counseling on my own because my wife said, Drew, you think you need to get some counseling? Okay, I'll do it for you, honey. I'll do it. If it makes you happy, I'll go try this. I did it on my own. So I'm the bad person here, which is what it looks like. And sometimes I might be a little too rough. I'm not perfect. I was willing to try and change that and help out because this is my family. But the way things look right now, looks like that you guys are going to try to drill me here. And I don't think that's too cool. I came out here on my own to try to help and make things better, but it seems like it's going to make things worse.
Well, let me tell you what I think. You want to know what I think, or do you care?
Well, truthfully, I don't care, but I would like to hear what you got to say. You have an opinion. I'll hear it.
Well, if you don't care, why do you want to hear it?
Because I would like to hear what you got to say.
You came all this way, you might as well, right?
Right now I'm a little upset, a little uptight, so I may say something that I might not mean. But sure,
Well,
I would appreciate it.
I'm real thick-skinned, and I'm going to hurt my feelings. I've been called,
I probably won't.
I've been called worse than I think you could come up with.
I probably would hope so.
Here's the thing. There's a reason that I agreed to do this story, because I had two choices in this once I learned about it and once I saw the tape. I could either try to help you, or I could just refer it to law enforcement, because I believe what you're doing is criminal. And I don't think you know that. I don't think you get it. I think that you are, like everybody else in this world, you just learn what you live. And I think people do the best they can with what they've got at the time. And I think you don't realize the impact and gravity of what you're doing. And I don't think you understand the impact and gravity of what you're doing. And so I elected to have a conversation with you and tell you the truth. And I tell people the truth as I see it. I'm not the repository of all knowledge. I'm not going to ask you to substitute my judgment for your own. You may completely disagree with me, and then you can go off and do whatever you want. But I think that you deserve for somebody to tell you the truth. Because I think if you will hear me, I think 6 months from now or a year from now, you will look back and say, thank God somebody stepped up and gave me a wake-up call. Because I am not proud of what I was doing, and I can now be proud of what I am doing. And that's my goal for you, is to tell you the truth. Now, I don't care whether you like it or you don't like it. What I do care is that I believe you need to hear something from other people's point of view. My point of view, her point of view, your son's point of view, your daughter's point of view. Because I think if you will do that, and you have a willingness, you can do something different than what you're doing here. So that's my goal. I wanted to find out what you were doing and what you weren't doing. You've been honest, I'll give you that.
I'll be more than honest. I'll tell you anything that you really want to hear. I don't need to lie. If I don't actually remember, then I'll tell you I don't actually remember. If I do remember, I'll tell you. Telling the truth is the only way to do it.
So what happened when you screwed up when you were a kid?
My mother would spank me if I was bad. I didn't get into trouble too much when I was young.
Yeah, how about your father?
Oh, I got spanked by my father. They were not together all my whole life.
Right.
So, yeah, I even took spankings for my so-called half-brother.
So who'd you live with?
I lived with my mother.
So when was your dad gone from your life?
About 6 weeks after I was born.
Yeah. So who taught you how to be a father? Who taught you what was right and what was wrong, where the boundaries were, what was okay, what was not?
My mother did her best on teaching me and being around her friends, but at least
But you didn't have a role model?
Not exactly, no.
A father that taught you how to deal with things?
Nope. Mm-hmm. He's in my life now, but back then, no.
Mm-hmm. What are you so angry about? What else do you do when a 14-year-old gets up in your face disrespectfully? What am I supposed to do? Kowtow? That's not the only other alternative.
Explain to me what you think the other alternative is so I could be enlightened.
What are you so angry about?
Can you define what I'm so angry about?
You just seem to have, look, I spend at least half my time hearing what isn't said.
Right.
And you seem to me to have a seething anger just below the surface. I think it's all you can do right now, since you've been out here, to not rage. And even as you sit there now, I just sense an anger in you, a rage in you, just beneath the surface. I mean, you're doing your best right now. I mean, you're sitting there, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep it together here. And I understand your anger at me. I get it if right now you're thinking I'd like to drag him out in an Oklahoma field and whoop his ass. Well, let me tell you, I lived in Oklahoma. I know where those fields are, and I've been in a few of them. I get how that solves nothing. What I want to know is not what you're angry at me about, what you're angry about in general.
Angry in general. I have a lot of stress that is put upon me. That could be a good part of being angry. I have a job that I work at that I'm not too happy with, but it's paying the bills, and if I could find something else, then I would, and change, and it would probably be a lot better.
But he also has a problem with authority.
Yeah, I get that. That's why he wants to slap me.
Can I say something to you, to be honest with you?
Sure.
I knew what I was coming out here to get into. I volunteered for this, and if I thought I was just going to come out here and want to slap you, I would have never volunteered. I came out here to try to figure out what the problem is and try to get help to fix the problem.
But you can't change what you don't acknowledge, and it is apparent to me that we have a different definition of acceptability when it comes to parenting and how you express yourself. You do what you think is okay. You do what you think you are justified to do. You think because this 14-year-old has the audacity to defy you, to push your buttons, to be in your face, that gives you the right to say, I'm the king of this house, and I will take you out and whoop your ass. If you want to get up in my face like a man, then I will whoop you like a man. That's just your level of reasoning. I get that. I understand that you think that's right. And I don't think that's right, and I have to convince you of a better way to do it, or you'll never stop doing it. But you can't change what you don't acknowledge. That's why I asked you, did you say this? Did you do that? Did you say this? And you said, yeah. Well, yes. Like, so? I mean, your whole attitude to me seems to be like, yeah, so what else do you do when a 14-year-old gets up in your face disrespectfully? What am I supposed to do? Kowtow and kiss his ass and say, oh, well, okay, I just want to get along? That's not the only other alternative.
What is the other alternative? Explain to me what you think the other alternative is so I could be enlightened.
I will certainly do that.
Well,
I'm so glad you asked.
I asked you. Let's be real. I'm going to ask you. I came here for help, so be it. Explain, please.
Okay. I think you're only half being sarcastic. I think you really are curious.
If I was going to be sarcastic, Dr. Phill, I would have came up with something better than that. I'm wanting to know.
Well, I said half sarcastic. All right, we're going to take a break, and then I am going to answer his question in detail. And you're sitting there like, great, get him fixed. Boy, have I got some questions for you, lady. We'll be right back.
When Drew doesn't want to listen to me, he'll wave his hand and say, off, I'm leaving.
Something's gonna have to give, or that's it, Brenda, I'm done.
Austin was 11. The cable guy came to our house, and Drew told him, just a minute, I'm gonna go my son up. The cable guy called Child Protective Services. It came back inconclusive. Drew might have said something, but he didn't follow through with it, which I'm glad.
Austin always makes me look like I'm the bad guy. I don't deserve it.
How well do you really know the person that you invite into your home and into your children's lives? It's a question more single parents need to ask themselves, because last year alone, child advocacy centers reportedly assisted nearly 86,000 children who were abused by their step-parents. We conducted a survey and asked parents if they disliked their stepchildren. Now, that's a provocative question. You think, who would ask somebody that? Well, we asked somebody that. 36% said yes. 36% said, you know, if I'm just anonymous here and don't put my name on this, yeah, I don't like my stepkids. Now, Brenda believes that her husband, Drew, must not like her children because of how abusive he is. He says, that's not true. I love these kids to death. But she says his anger escalates when she steps in and defends them.
I've about had enough of your mouth. Keep it up and I'm going to spank your ass.
Austin puts a big strain on my relationship with my wife. She always thinks that I'm being the bad guy or too mean.
I'm getting a little sick and tired of your crap. Running your mouth. Basically, you're going to do what you're told or you're going to get your ass beat.
I'm always in the middle when I have to get in Drew's face because he's trying to pick on my son. I say, pick on somebody your own size. I'll say, off. Stop threatening all the time.
I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I really don't care. You can take your little film and stick it where the sun don't shine because I'm tired of his little stupid mouth that's disrespectful.
I don't think Drew is in control of his actions or his mouth. I think he needs medication.
I'm gonna put up with this crap. Been doing this for going on 9 years and I'm not gonna do it any longer.
When Drew doesn't want to listen to me, he'll wave his hand and say, off, I'm leaving.
Something's gonna have to give or that's it, Brenda. I'm done. I'm serious. I'm not playing. I'm sick of this. I'm not going to be the one that's always trying to look like I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to make his ass mine. Disrespectful little brat. You don't side in with me.
Can't get a word in because your mouth keeps running.
I'm done with you.
See? That's what he does. He walks away.
Okay, let me ask you, because I've learned I'm coming up on our 2000th show here. And one thing I've learned is that when people sit back and watch their life, their conduct, their behavior on tape, it sometimes is informative. What's your reaction? You just watched yourself on tape there.
That's a good question. How should I answer that? Well, when I say I'm done and I walk out, I think it's better that I walk away out of the situation to get some fresh air, to get out of the aggravation.
See, that's really an interesting answer. I find it really interesting because, and you guys, I'm sure, know it's the same thing. You have no comment on your demeanor, your conduct, your name calling, the aggressive and rageful nature of what you were saying. You just say, well, yeah, I probably should walk away. That doesn't even register with you. Let me ask you this question. Let me get a little more specific. How much fun do you think you are to live with?
Couldn't tell you.
Well, think about it for a minute. Think about it. You're not you. You're her, or you're him, or you're the daughter. Any of the three. How much fun do you think they have living with you when we just watched that tape?
Well, if that was it, if that tape actually existed all the time as my life was going on every day, it wouldn't be fun at all. But that's just a little partial time. We do have
every
fun.
other day at least. You and Austin are arguing, and I'm having to step in.
When Drew picked me up and threw me against the wall, it made me feel scared inside. When Drew threatens me, I hate him. I don't like living this way. When Drew threatens me, I hate him. I don't like living this way. When Drew picked me up and threw me against the wall, it made me feel scared inside. A lot of my friends don't want to come over because they're scared of Drew. He called one of my friends a mental-looking beaver bulldog mixed. I said, why did you do it? He said, he's a mental hairy-looking gorilla. I was like, wow. Drew gets annoyed with Destiny because she kind of has a problem, but she's my sister and I will protect her no matter what. He says to her, "Why are you acting retarded?" I stuck up for my sister and said, "You don't talk to my sister like that." Drew always tells me whenever he fights with my mom, it's always because of me. It's hard to see my mom be sad. It makes me feel inside like I'm gonna cry, and I don't like that. He said if it wasn't for me, there would be no problems. It hurts my feelings a lot, actually, to him say that. I wish that we can get along and be happy together.
What's your thought?
My thought is he's unhappy quite a bit. Apparently they're all unhappy, and so myself, I'm unhappy too. I don't like to fight with them. I would rather not. I don't need to raise my blood pressure any higher than it already is over something crazy and stupid. But it seems like the majority of the time he's disrespectful and always standing up and telling me that he's not going to do something. And it just really irritates the hell out of me when he does that.
I get that you don't like all of his behavior. What I'm trying to get you to get is that your reaction to it, your method to it, you cannot manage the situation with intimidation and succeed. You cannot be a loudmouth, abusive bully and succeed. And I'll guarantee you that's how he sees you. I guarantee you that's how she sees you. I guarantee that's how she sees you when you are doing what you're doing. Is that what you want for yourself?
That's not what I want.
Is that what you're doing? Are you being a loudmouth, abusive bully?
Apparently, I guess I am.
No, I'm asking you. You said you would be honest. Are you?
Did I just answer your question?
No.
Yes, I just did.
Well, answer it again, because I'm not very smart.
I think you're smarter than you're playing off right now, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm not even close to being finished speaking to Drew, and I haven't even gotten to speak to Brenda yet. You do not want to miss tomorrow's show. If you suspect child again trying to save another addict's life, can you believe that 10 years ago, right here on this stage, we made television history with the first ever on-air drug intervention on Brandon?
Did you lie to me to get him in here? Answer my question.
You are the biggest liar in the group. You lie to your father, you lie to your mother. That's the pot calling the kettle black, my friend.
Brandon, I know you want help.
Don't talk to me. Am I done? Can I go now?
He walked down this runway with a big choice to make. Now he's going to walk back up it today. Let's welcome Brandon. Well, Brandon is now 7 years sober and has been paying it forward ever since. He partnered with his mother, Debbie, and together they have performed hundreds of interventions all across the nation. Take a look at some of their toughest cases.
Oh my gosh, what the f?
Why do you think we're here? Tell me.
We're all gonna run in there behind her.
Hey, JL, hold on.
You're not leaving jail. We went in, attempted to intervene on JL, and she went into a full-blown meth psychosis rage.
You don't even know me.
No, I don't know.
So then how are you going to sit here and tell me I'm out of my mind?
Because I've been where you're at.
I don't care about your life and your sad sob story. I don't even want you here. Get off of me! Call 911.
Say hello to Debbie and Brandon. They are here with me now. So, how you doing? Catch us up.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
I never ever imagined life could be so good.
And actually, when I say that you guys are paying it forward, you guys have been doing interventions. You've been helping us with interventions. And when Debbie called us about this next story, she said the family desperately needed our help. In just 3 years, 20-year-old Lonnie had gone from a straight A student to getting kicked out of high school for trading pills and later selling heroin to an undercover cop. This family was on the brink of giving up hope. Take a look.
My daughter Lonnie,
She's 20 years old. She's addicted to heroin. Left the house a few weeks ago. We haven't seen her since.
Lonnie was a great kid. She always loved to be around family.
When she was in 8th grade, her grandfather died. They were very, very close. That was the major turning point. She was more withdrawn and began experimenting with drugs. When she was a sophomore, she was expelled for having narcotics on her. She had Norcos, which she took from grandma. In 12th grade, she was high all the time. I would talk to her. She was a good liar. I'm not high. I'm not doing anything. I found out later that she was taking ecstasy.
I suspected Lonnie doing drugs about 2.5 years ago. She met this boy. The second I saw this guy, I knew it's bad news.
When she was 18, she moved out. Last year, she was arrested 2 times for possession. One of those, she sold to an undercover cop. Then she moved back home. It continued to get worse. We would find cut-up straws, squares of foil that were very dirty and ashy, and a lot of dark fingerprints on the wall.
We've found it in her clothes, under her bed. I'm talking hundreds of pieces of foil.
I have another daughter, Lindsay. She's a perfect kid.
My sister is toxic. The amount of stress and the feeling of anxiety all the time. I'm mortified to be your sister. I've thought about coming home one day and she died. It's like a really scary feeling, but I don't care. I've always felt in the bottom of my heart, there's no hope for this girl.
About 3 weeks ago, Paul had hundreds of dollars missing out of his bank account. We confronted her, and of course, it's always deny, deny. She went to live with grandma.
There were several times when I found that there were bills missing from my wallet. There were a couple of old gold necklaces that were missing.
So we confronted her. She denied it. Her boyfriend came and picked her up. She hugged me and said, "I love you, Mom. Don't worry, I'm fine." That was the last time we saw her.
Jail doesn't scare her. Death doesn't scare her. I'm numb. I don't even want to look at her.
She doesn't want to get clean. She likes heroin.
How is it that you have a daughter that is a heroin addict, 2 felonies pending, hanging out with druggies? How did we get in this situation?
I just think it started from school, hanging in the environment that she was hanging out with. She wanted to be on the outside and just be around terrible environment. Kids that had no direction, no goals.
But why?
I don't know.
She has very low self-esteem.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know if she was...
I have no idea. We've always told her how beautiful she was.
Let me stop y'all here for a minute. This is important to me. Have you not given any thought to this?
Oh, of course.
Because I'm asking, you're going like, well, it never occurred to me that somebody's going to ask me how we got to this point. I need you to come full present here right now. I don't mess around. If she wants to be a drug addict, I am her worst damn nightmare. Because let me tell you, I will haunt her ass till the end of the world. Okay? You have no idea. And I ask you a question, and you're just kind of staring off like you're in shock. I listen to what you say, and you say, I'm done. I'm through with her. And if that's true...
It's not true. I mean, I'll do anything for
my daughter. Why did you say that? If you're not in this deal, then you need to excuse yourself, because I'm getting ready to deal with your daughter, and I can't have anybody dragging their feet or anybody that's not committed to it. I have a philosophy, and you need to adopt it and embrace it. And it is this. You never, ever surrender to the disease. There were 6 times that I personally could have given up on him, 100 times that Doug and Debbie could have given up on Brandon, but they didn't. I've interviewed him on this stage. I've interviewed him in an orange jumpsuit in the Harris County Jail, and his mother was driving around not knowing she had black tar heroin hidden in her car, because he had left it in the console. Okay, you didn't invent this problem, but you have it. So there has to be a sense of urgency here. I may never see her other than today. And you've got these two here. He's lived it. He's been there. She's a psychiatric nurse, a drug specialist. You have the A-team here.
Right.
So let me ask you again, why is she this way? So let me ask you again, why is she this way?
I think this has been a lifelong coming issue. As a child, she was unhappy, never felt good about herself.
What'd you do about that?
Oh, I took her to psychiatrists,
What did they do about
therapists. I had her evaluated. They were never able to peel back anything significant to get her to change or realize that she was a beautiful person.
A lot of her problems are, it's hereditary. I mean, I grew up where my brother committed suicide when he was 18 years old.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for your loss about that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our family has multi-generational mental problems. I really feel that Paul has never dealt with this death of his brother.
My brother had a mental imbalance. In 1983, my brother committed suicide. He did it in his car. Asphyxiation. I mean, bloodline is bloodline.
I think that he blames himself, passing that on to his daughter. Lonnie and I had many private conversations that I never shared with Paul because I was fearful that he would kick her out. He can't handle it. I really feel that Paul is a different man than I married. He's checked out. He's done.
I'm more on my dad's side where we're done and we don't want to do this anymore. I'm not here for Lonnie. I'm here to support my mom and my dad, not for her.
Do you have any idea why she expresses so much hate towards y'all?
No, I don't. I don't know.
Where she is now is not consistent with what her upbringing was.
Absolutely.
Because y'all got along.
Absolutely.
There was happiness in the
Yeah,
home.
it was a
You got along as a
beautiful
sister.
family.
Absolutely.
You got
always
along.
did things together.
And then it turned.
Right.
I mean, we tried everything we can. We're still trying. There was a lot of enabling because we have no idea what we're doing, and I think that's why she's in this situation. We have no idea what we're doing, so every answer could be the right answer. So we tried everything.
You said in 2009 she admits using ecstasy, but yet you had no clue that she was into drugs, even though she had been expelled before for swapping pills around.
I knew she was doing the pills, but at that point, she was wanting to be Joe Cool. And I think she wanted to show people the pills, and it was more about just being cool than taking them at that time. At that time. Because she had...
Perhaps you underestimated the danger there.
Well, but I think because we had pills at home, and they were never touched at that time.
When she was 16, she was dating a 23-year-old. You threatened to call the cops, but you never did.
Well, she denied it for so long that she never admitted that they were going together. It was just always a group of friends
Just
at the beginning.
hanging out.
In February of this year, she was arrested for possession of heroin.
Right.
She said it was not hers. Did you bail her out?
Yes.
Did you bail her friend out?
Yes.
Your theory was, I need her out on the street so she has
No.
access to more drugs?
They told me there was a jacket that was left in the car, and it was in the pocket of a jacket.
And they were set up.
And they were set up by someone.
And you believed that?
Yeah.
Let me add that, while I was on probation, I failed 10 drug tests in a row, and I still tried to convince the judge that the lab results were, messed up somehow. That's how bad we'll lie to try and worm
let
our
me
way
tell
out
you,
of it.
I had her pinned against the wall when he was in Harris County Jail and says, if you bail him out, I will never speak to you people again, ever. Make a choice. I'm in or I'm out. You bail him out, I'm out. You remember that conversation? Because it's
Absolutely.
hard for a mother to let her son sit down. He's in there for like 6 months.
Yes. I knew at that very moment he lives or he dies.
and I had to make a choice. And the choice was, this is a very tough disease, and I had to get tough. And I accessed an anger that I didn't know I had, not at him, but at the drugs. Right. And that's when I said, we're done, we're not moving back. We did not bail him out, and he spent 6 months, 180 days, in the Harris County Jail.
You admit you're still paying for the bail bonds. You searched her room, you found a black wax pot in there, drug paraphernalia. You hid that from your husband. You didn't tell him.
At certain times.
I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. I don't think this is the day that we should talk to your daughter. Because you guys aren't ready. You're hiding stuff from your husband. You damn well know it.
She's not hiding anything from me.
Well, you're defending her, saying, no, she's not hiding anything from me. Yes, she is. You're hiding stuff from your husband. You damn well know it. And I ask you, you say, well, sometimes not. I mean, come on, lady.
No, I did.
She's not hiding anything from me.
Well, because Paul was...
she told us that she did, so she's either lying to us or she's lying to you.
No, because...
She said she didn't tell you because you couldn't take it. She was afraid you would kick her out of the house if you knew.
I would have.
Well, that wasn't the question. The question was, you're defending her, saying, no, she's not hiding anything from me. Yes, she is.
Well, she's scared about her daughter going on the street.
She doesn't want her on the street, but yet she goes down and bails her out of jail. I told Debbie, at least when he's in jail, you know he has at least limited access to drugs.
But she did come back home with us. She was living with us, and we were able to monitor her more.
That saved my life.
How many times did your mom bail you out?
Once or twice before.
Well, that's where we are.
Dr. Phill. Yeah.
You don't want to see your kid in jail.
Guys, I'm just saying, we got to all be in this together. You say, hey, it's okay that I took her out of jail because I came home and monitored her. After that, she sold heroin to an undercover cop. Were you there with her?
No.
So obviously you can't monitor. Look, here's the reason I'm saying this. If you're going to believe her because you desperately want to, then you're going to undermine anything and everything that I might do, that a treatment center might do. This girl doesn't need to go to rehab. She needs to be in a dual diagnostic center, a dual treatment center where they deal with the psychological issues that drive this. And that is a serious swing at the ball here. And let me tell you, if y'all sabotage it, not intentionally, but you're making some really bad decisions. And when I'm pointing them out to you, you're saying, well, no, sort of, kind of, well, maybe. Oh, she didn't lie to me. Yes, I did. Well, sometimes I did. Sometimes I... It's like, seriously?
No, I didn't know what to do. I had no one to talk to.
But you do now. You're here now. So that's
I'm just
why
saying at that time.
I'm trying to really cut
We're
through
at
the
our
chase
last
here.
resort, Doctor.
It's been years
I understand,
of this.
but you have to stop leaning on your own understanding and listen to professionals here. Do you see my point?
Yeah, I understand.
I got you.
You guys are. She's saying I hid stuff from him. No, she didn't. Yes, I did. No, she didn't. You don't know because she hid it from you. How can you know?
Yeah. Right.
You are enabling your daughter by hiding her pathology from your husband. How old are you?
18.
18. You have a child on the end of the row saying, been a lot of enabling going on here. Hell, she gets it. She's just 18.
I know.
Right? This girl
I know.
can be dead tomorrow.
I know.
And she hates you people.
I know.
That's what she says.
I know.
She doesn't really, but that's what she says. Because she's trying to drive you away because she wants to remove every obstacle she can that's between her and drugs. I mean, we saw her standing there in a sweatshirt and jeans, filthy. Look at her. That's not the beautiful girl that y'all raised. I'm concerned that you're not ready. And we're going to blow an opportunity if we go in it half prepared. Because let me tell you what I am going to say to her at some point. You either do what I'm telling you need to do, or my advice to your parents is to stalk you until you can get busted and violated on a third felony and put in prison for years. Because I would rather have your daughter in jail than have her dead in a gutter week after next. She's not going to like me, and I don't care. I'm not here to make a friend. I'm here to save a life. We're playing hardball here because she's a hard case. She's a heroin addict. So you're in or you're out. Hardball. Hardball.
I know.
My agenda is we get her off the street, we get her help, or we get her locked up where she can't kill herself.
That's what we want.
Fine.
Lonnie's addiction is not only destroying her, it's tearing apart her parents' marriage, as you can see. It's disrupting the family life. Lonnie was missing for 3 weeks, and just days ago, her mother Lynn and Marilee went in search of her. What they found is why I am so concerned.
This is where Lonnie is, right here. There's 3 or 4 or 5 other houses that these druggies bounce to.
Go get her! I just want to talk to her for 2 minutes! The cops are coming!
When 20-year-old Lonnie was caught selling drugs to an undercover police officer and then used as an informant, her family hoped she would put her struggles with drugs behind her. But sadly and predictably, Lonnie's drug use grew worse. When she went missing recently, her mother Lynn and Marilee turned into wannabe private investigators in an effort to track Lonnie down.
My life has been a constant private eye session. I have not spoke to my daughter in 2 weeks. She's alone out there. Marilee is my cousin, and she has gone through a lot of these struggles with me.
Lonnie's the worst I've ever seen her. I know that she's going to die if we don't get her help.
This is the road right here that they told us that we needed to go on. This idiot we thought was maybe actually trying to possibly help her out. Dennis on a wild goose chase.
She's alone in the trailer. We're getting close. We're approximately 2 minutes from the dirt road.
This is where Lonnie is, right here. There's 3 or 4 or 5 other houses that these druggies bounce to. If he doesn't produce her and the cops come, get ready. Because someone's going to jail. We have a missing person. We're waiting for the police. As far as we're concerned, Lonnie's missing.
Go get her! I just want to talk to her for 2 minutes! The cops are coming! Come here, Lonnie, honey. I just want to talk to you. Talk!
Okay, Lonnie, I need to take you to till you get help.
No, you don't. I'm fine.
Lonnie, you're living with men, honey, that you've known a week. You're finally away from the boyfriend, but you're with people that you don't know.
Oh, I'm not leaving. I'm fine here, and you can't make me leave. I'm not doing drugs.
If you get one more felony, babe, you are going to prison.
You're
Mom,
sick. You're sick. I'm not sick. Mom, stop. I'm done.
You have no clothes. Lonnie, look at where you're living.
Lonnie! Come on! You have a family that wants you to get better.
I have followed Debbie and Brandon for a long time. I think they're absolutely superb at what they do. I got the number, I called it, and Debbie picked up the phone. Said, I'm begging you for your help. He's gonna die. She said, I'm gonna email the Dr. Phill show. And I said, what? Are you serious? We need Debbie and Brandon now to come get her because we can't do it on our own.
Don't start calling the cops for a missing person. You know I'm here, Mom.
So you just want to be an addict and live in the dirt?
I'm not getting high.
Lonnie, you need to go and get clean at a hospital. You need help.
A hospital.
So you.
She's 20 years old. I wanted to have a chance to live.
At that point, we decided to send Brandon in to lend some help.
I just pulled up to Lonnie's house, actually Lonnie's parents' house. I'm gonna go inside, meet the family, and figure this thing out. Hi, how are you doing? You must be Lynn?
I'm Lynn.
Dude.
Come in.
Oh, you're
Come
so
in,
welcome, so welcome.
Let me introduce you.
Hi, how are you doing? Why don't you guys, go ahead and give me a little info about this place that she's been staying at.
This area has no street signs, no paved roads. It's dirt and trailers. It's a desolate, dark road.
She's known these men for 8 days.
Let me stop you here.
8
Total
days.
strangers.
We have no idea.
They're 40 and 50.
Oh my God, they're like have kids.
She's 20.
Yes.
But you did get to see her and talk to her for a little
You're the
bit.
best.
It's a good thing that you guys did reach out. Let's go check this place out.
Yeah, we need to go about a half mile down the road.
Okay. All right, I'm pulling into the street where she's staying at. Turn the light off real quick so they don't spot us.
So we're right up here on the left, that wood color fence. That's it.
Oh, there's a camera on the side of that house right there, like a security camera. Hopefully it's not as bad as we think and we can get her out and get her help.
Well, after Brandon spent the night surveilling the area, the family convened the next morning to devise a plan with Brandon and his mother, Debbie.
And I'm Debbie. Hi, Debbie. I'm Lynn. And this is Marilee.
Why are we here?
She's probably going to die if we don't get to her ASAP.
We've got to go in and extract her out of that compound to give her a chance.
You can only get out of the trailer right here or right here.
We should probably go to this direction first.
Okay, so we've got a plan together. Everybody knows what we're going to do.
If any one of you feel in danger, calmly call 911. We are going to get her to LA to talk to Dr. Phill.
Well, the next day, they did it. They headed to the trailer park at the end of a dusty road.
All right, right now, we're on our way out to the compound, ready to do this extraction. I'm with Paul and Sam, and we're gonna go get his daughter out of this compound.
I'm beyond nervousness right now. I'm just ready to do this plan.
This is the entrance to the compound where all the trailers are. They've got, blinds up and stuff over their windows.
Lonnie, come out here. It's your dad. I need to talk to you.
I see a hole in the fence where she could possibly, run out the back.
See anything over here, Sammy? I don't hear anything. I don't see any movement. There's movement. Lonnie!
Oh, they nailed this shut.
There's people in there, no doubt.
Hey, is Lonnie in there? I'm her father, and I need to see Lonnie right now. Lonnie was here.
Lonnie's here.
2 people did come out of the residence and said that, Lonnie's not here. They don't know who Lonnie is. They've never seen Lonnie. I'm not convinced that she's not inside hiding. I still think she might be inside there.
I can hear her. She's in there.
I haven't seen my daughter in... I'm worried sick about her.
So she's not here, but you just found out she doesn't want to talk to us. There's a guy whose nickname is He just came out of the trailer and admitted that he does know where Lonnie is and she is inside the trailer.
So you're gonna call the cops on me? Lonnie!
Quite a ordeal. I'm adding Mary Lee to this. Mary Lee, thank you for being here. First off, thank you for writing. Thank you for reaching out. You've been a real movement in this thing and getting stuff along. Sam, thanks for being there and helping get everything together. This is Lonnie's grandmother down here. Hello to you as well. We have a lot of people here that care a lot about this young woman. I'm leaning on these guys to come present, get focused, stop listening to her lies, and hold her feet to the fire here. What do you think about what you've been hearing me say this whole time?
I'm so glad. And it's a family emergency. And this is a family problem, as you can see. And I've seen it for many years.
Lonnie was at the trailer, but how are they going to get her past the fence and actually get to have a dialogue with her? You don't want to miss what happened next. We'll be right back. Lynn and Paul have been trying for years to help their daughter Lonnie beat their addiction to drugs. And like so many parents, they have a lot more love than they do knowledge about what to do. If you've ever been in that world, it is hard. When they kicked her out 3 weeks ago, they never imagined they'd find themselves in the middle of some trailer park at the end of a dusty road far from the beautiful LA suburb that she grew up in. Now, with Brandon and Debbie's help, the family devised a plan to try to get to her. They just learned that a man that Lonnie was indeed hiding out with was in that trailer. He threatened to call the cops on them. Boy, that's when I wish I'd have been there. You better believe he would have met some cops and met them in a hurry. But did he? Did. Let's see what happened next.
I have a team in place.
Paul is talking to the police officer right now, and he has agreed to finally help us get Lonnie out of here. I just overheard that the cop ran this guy's record, and he told him he'd better cooperate with us or he could take him in. So he went inside, and he got Lonnie to come out.
There's my daughter. She's out in the open. Lonnie, I haven't seen you in a month. I just want to talk to you.
Start talking.
I don't want to bury my daughter.
You're not going to. I know I have a problem. I know, but I'm staying clean. What do you have? What's your idea?
I have a doctor lined up for you.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I want to introduce you to the nurse. Debbie, this is my daughter, Lonnie.
I appreciate that.
I'm Debbie. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm a nursing counselor. Okay. And the only reason I'm here is because your family's just worried about me.
Your mom and Marilee wrote in to Dr. Phill. Do it.
I'll think about it.
I know you said that.
I'm not going anywhere today. I'm telling you that right now.
I think we are making a little progress. She said she wants to think about it.
I don't want you bringing this drama here, Mom. I'm not getting high. I'm just trying to stay away from you for a little bit.
The only person that they're going to listen to that can actually hold a mirror up in front of them and say, this is what you've done wrong to your daughter, that guy's Dr. Phill. Lonnie is still resisting. Marilee is talking to her right now.
Just give me 2 days with you. And I give you my word, God is my witness, I'll never come chasing after you again. I just want you to go talk to Dr. Phill. Please?
Whatever.
Okay, baby, let's go get
Can I get my out?
You can do whatever you want.
We finally got Lonnie to agree to come with us, and she went inside, got her stuff, and she's on her way out right now. So here she is coming out, and she's got her stuff, so we got her.
It took 2 days. Family members, Brandon, and 2 police officers, but Lonnie finally made it here. So Lonnie, please join us. How you doing? Dr. Phill, how are you? Seat right here. You know why these people are clapping when you walk out?
No.
I think they recognize that it took some real courage on your part to do that. And I'm glad that you're here. How do you feel about being here?
I'm all right.
What's the good and bad about being here?
I want finally to get my family help, not just me, but my whole family. We all have major problems. We just need to lay everything out on the table and talk about it and figure something out.
It's like you're reading my mind. You know, one of the things that frustrates me, people have heard me say it before, is I have family members that bring kids. This even happened when I was in private practice. And people would bring their kids and drop them at the therapeutic altar and say, here, fix them and call me when you're done. And I'd say, whoa, wait a minute. Come in and set your ass down, because kids don't get into these issues in a vacuum. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. And you are exactly right. You are reading my mind. I agree with you 100%. You have serious problems. You are making some serious bad decisions, and this is a family problem. I have had some very hard conversations with your parents already, and they probably don't like me very much right now because I kind of been chewing their ass
That's okay.
about what they've done and haven't done. What I've not done is questioned whether they loved you and whether their intention was good.
I know they love me, and I know their intentions are good.
Is that a fair thing?
Assessment, yeah.
Have you felt chewed out? I'm sorry, but I know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know. But I needed you to change your position.
I understand.
But anywhere in there, did you ever hear me say that you didn't mean well and didn't love your daughter? Because you didn't hear me say that, because I don't believe that. I believe that you love this daughter very much. I said that your dad would run through a door or climb any mountain to help you. He would lay his life down for you. But he is also a big part of this problem. Your mother, the same thing. She would die for you, but she is a big part of this problem. I totally get that. Why are you so mad at them?
You know, I could sit here today and say, yeah, I have mental problems. I'm a drug addict. F***ed up. I've stolen, I've lied, I've cheated. And I could say that on national television. I'm a drug addict. But there's someone else who is a drug addict, who is keeping this on the down low, who I think needs to talk about it.
And who is that?
You're doing heroin and meth. You're hanging around with people named...
I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm getting everything out on the table. There's someone else who is a drug addict, who is keeping this on the down low, who I think needs to talk about it.
And who is that?
Do you want to talk about it or you want me to? It needs to get out there. It's a major problem. A couple years after my sister was born, my mom was addicted to Norcos, up to 30 a day. Don't start. She got on Suboxone to get off of him. She's still taking Suboxone.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Stop.
Hey, I grew up in the 80s. I'll admit, you know how they say if you remember the 80s, you weren't there? I don't remember much of the 80s. I was, I experimented. I have been very honest with my children. Very honest.
Does Lindsay know?
I've
Does
been
Lindsay
honest
know
with her.
Lonnie, your mom is not a drug addict.
She had a drug problem.
You're doing heroin and meth. You're hanging around with people named living in scum.
Lonnie, I have been taking...
Did you have a drug
Prozac
problem?
And Xanax. Yeah, I know, Lon.
Were you taking up to 30 Norcos a day?
What are you talking about,
Hold on,
Lonnie?
Paul. She's having a conversation with her mother. Let's let them have it.
Be honest. Be honest.
I have taken painkillers, yes.
Did you have a problem?
I don't think
Were
it was
you
a problem.
addicted?
No.
Are you an addict?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You are a liar, Mom.
I'm not. Like I said.
So your point is that she has had a history of abusing prescription drugs for sure.
When I moved back home, I was on heroin and I wasn't feeling good. And I said, I don't feel good. And she said, I know how you feel. I know what you're going through. And I said, no, you don't. And she pulled me aside and said, listen, your sister doesn't know. Your family doesn't know. Your dad doesn't know the extent of it. I was addicted to painkillers your whole childhood, up to 30 Norcos a day. So she knows what detox feels like. She doesn't want the world to know.
Okay. Well, did you have that conversation? And no, before you answer, this isn't an essay question.
Right.
You either had the conversation or you didn't.
We had the conversation.
Okay. So she acknowledges that.
So you're an addict. You had a drug problem.
I admitted to you that I have the same brain as you, that I feel the same way. When I take a painkiller, I know how you feel.
30 Norcos a day? Say it. I'm a heroin addict. I can say it. Man up and own your shit.
All right.
I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm getting everything out on the table.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Were you addicted to painkillers?
For an amount of time, yeah.
Okay, and you had to use Suboxone
to get off
to get off of them.
Right.
Okay, so next, what else did you want on the table?
That was just a major thing for me because, all the attention's on me for being the drug addict, but then you're in the closet. You had your addiction, but no one knew. You were normal.
Now they do.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
You need help. You need more help than just some rehab program. You need a lot of help to get the life that I think you deserve. I do want to make what I think is a very unique program available to you. It's not just some rehab program, it's what we call a dual diagnosis program that can truly give you the chance to get traction and become all of who you are. Mandy Baker is here. I flew her in here from Texas today. She's Vice President, Executive Clinical Director of the Origins Recovery Center. And I want you to do that. And I want you to do it with an understanding and a commitment from me that while you're doing that, these people right here have got a hell of a lot of work that I am going to set up for them to do as well, as much or more work as you're doing, so you have a chance to come home and really have a relationship where there's honesty instead of hypocrisy, where people respect the boundaries in your life, but yet hold you accountable. You've got legal problems, we will help with those as well. I'm willing to make every resource at my fingertips available to you, and they are appreciable. What I need you to do is tell me in all sincerity that you will immerse yourself in this program. Will you do that?
Yes, I will.
We have a deal, you do that? Okay. All right. You can do this.